After a 5-month investigation, Peoria County State's Attorney Jody Hoos says they have their man in the killing of a prominent Peoria doctor. We have exclusive footage tonight.
Plus, newly obtained body and dash cam video shows the moments an East Peoria police officer is stabbed in a knife attack. Video you'll only see here.
And after East Peoria approved a new apartment high-rise on the riverfront, that project is stalling. What city leaders are saying. Heart of Illinois ABC News at 10 starts now.
Live, this is Heart of Illinois ABC News at 10. Local, social.
We start tonight with exclusive pictures following the moments a prominent Peoria surgeon was killed in his own home, and police believe the killer then tried to steal his artwork. Good evening, I'm Kyle Beachy.
And I'm Janice Rebholz. Robert Eli was arrested yesterday for the murder of Dr. William Marshall. Police say Eli was part of a larger group targeting the elderly.
Paige Blanzy explains what led to that arrest.
A white flatbed truck with distinctive writing on the sides and no plates. Peoria Police and the Peoria County State's Attorney say this surveillance footage would prove key to finding their suspect. You can see in the photos a man driving away along with what police say is stolen artwork from Dr. Marshall's home, right next to the driver in the front seat.
We tracked down the vehicle, took possession of the vehicle.
In that vehicle, police say they found the murder weapon, a knife with Dr. Marshall's blood on it, later leading them to a storage unit linked to Robert Eli, and again with Dr. Marshall's art inside.
This really was a criminal enterprise.
Peoria County State's Attorney Jody Hoos says Robert Eli was a part of that traveling enterprise, victimizing several others in central Illinois. But she says other burglaries by the group didn't usually result in murder. Evidence shows Dr. Marshall fought back, which they believe led to his death.
There were defensive wounds on both hands and a right arm, which is consistent if you're struggling with somebody.
The prosecutor says the group targets elderly people, which they view as the most vulnerable, easier to take advantage of. With no forced entry, it's as if he sweet-talked his way into Dr. Marshall's home.
He pretends to know the people, when I did your siding last time or when I painted your house last year, things like that, where he convinces them that they already know him and he's able to gain entry.
But why this retired surgeon and art collector? Investigators still aren't sure.
But Dr. Marshall fits the profile of other victims in cases throughout Illinois that we believe Robert Eli did.
In the High Point neighborhood where Marshall lived, they all shared the news amongst each other.
I don't think that it's ever anything that we're going to look at and say, oh, now we feel better about it because Dr. Marshall's not here.
But Captain Dixon with the Peoria Police Department says there's more work to do.
I don't think this case is over. We are actively looking for other victims of this type of crime.
Eli should be extradited to Peoria next week and is likely to face additional charges. Reporting in Peoria, I'm Paige Blanzy, Heart of Illinois, ABC.
And new tonight at 10, Peoria police are asking for help finding a missing person. Now, this is the only photo that they were able to provide, but this is 34-year-old Kimberly Anderson. She's about 5'11", brown eyes and brown hair. She was last seen yesterday around noon in the 3600 block of North Rochelle. If you have seen or know the whereabouts of Anderson, you're being asked to call the Peoria Police Department. The number's on your screen. That's 309-673-4521.
A Bloomington man is in custody tonight after allegedly strangling his girlfriend at a bowling alley. That incident happened Wednesday at the Pheasant Lanes Bowling Alley in Bloomington. 31-year-old Justin Morton is being charged with aggravated domestic battery, aggravated battery, and domestic battery. His bond is set at $5,035. Morton's arraignment is scheduled for June 25th.
Newly obtained dash cam and body cam footage reveals gut-wrenching encounter between an East Peoria police officer and the suspect who stabbed him. Alex Gall walks us through this exclusive footage, but we do warn you, this video is disturbing.
Place your hands on the car. Okay. Anything illegal on you?
35 seconds. That's how long East Peoria police officer Jeffrey Bieber fought for his life against a suspect who stabbed him several times with a knife. Police body cam and dash cam footage obtained exclusively by Heart of Illinois ABC via a Freedom of Information Act request capture the entire struggle between Bieber and domestic violence suspect Joshua Kreitz.
In that moment, did you think you were going to die?
100%.
The encounter starts when Bieber pulls over a white Ford truck at an East Peoria CVS in the early morning of February 2nd. After a minute-long conversation, Bieber decides to take Kreitz into custody.
You need medics?
Yes, please.
Send medics this way also for a male bleeding from the hands.
That ended up being my ambulance a few minutes later.
Bieber walks Kreitz over to his car and is about to handcuff him when Kreitz digs into his pocket, pulls out a knife, and begins stabbing him repeatedly, 10 times in all. The tangle lasts 35 seconds. Bieber first tries deploying a stun gun before being taken to the ground. And then, 15 seconds after the first stab, Bieber draws his service weapon. He fires 4 shots over a 17-second period, fatally wounding Kreitz before finally calling for help.
32, I've been stabbed. Good gas.
10-4, send a medic.
I'd be okay if I never see it again. It kind of gave me some feelings watching it, and just made me teary-eyed a little bit, because while I'm watching it, I just don't understand how I'm here watching it, because I should be dead.
Now, after 4 months, Bieber says his 10 stab wounds are healing miraculously well. He returned to work last week and was honored for his bravery from the East Peoria City Council.
It's inspiring. It inspired me to be a better police officer today because of it, and to help others in need.
In East Peoria, I'm Alex Gull, Heart of Illinois, ABC.
And it was a scary night for a Peoria Uber driver after he says 2 bullets went through his rear window. He says he was waiting to pick up a passenger in central Peoria early this morning when it happened. Andy Weber talked to the Uber driver today, who says nothing like this has ever happened in over 9,000 rides.
And so I was just sitting in my car waiting, and all of a sudden there was this tremendous bang. And I kind of ducked down in my seat like, what's this? And then here came the rider. He got in, we left.
John Doring says he thought if it was gunfire, it hadn't hit his car. That was until he started driving.
And when we were about a block away in a well-lit street, I looked back at him, and I could see the damage to the window.
As for his passenger,
never said a word about the window next to him having 2 bullet holes in it.
In Doring's 5 years with the rideshare service, he's never dealt with anything like this.
It hasn't been a problem. You know, you're going to pick up someone in particular, you know who it is, they know who I am, and Uber is always tracking me.
Even with 2 bullets nearly hitting Doring, a former Dunlap fire chief, he says he'll keep driving.
So most people, I'll be honest with you, probably would stop.
I would imagine.
So why?
I enjoy what I do.
Yet he fully understands the gravity of what happened.
If it had been 6 inches further to the front, we probably would not be having this interview.
That's Andy Weber reporting tonight. Peoria police did respond and gather evidence from Doring's car, including a fired bullet that was found in the back seat. Doring says he's been in touch with Uber, and Uber says they have a 24/7 team that works with law enforcement to handle emergencies just like this. And we're going to head outside now with our first look at weather tonight with Chief Meteorologist Brian Walter.
Yeah, it was a hot and humid one, and actually the hottest day so far this year in Peoria. We hit 91 degrees, and with that we had a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms. You see on live Doppler radar we're quiet now, but we looped this over the last few hours. And you see just a couple of them fading out there in Fulton County, but overall the last few hours have been pretty quiet, just warm and muggy. Temperatures in the 70s across the board right now, except for Bloomington. We're hanging on to 80, same with Pruitt at 83, but everybody falling back into the low 70s by tomorrow morning. Should be a pretty quiet night and getting even hotter as we head into the weekend. We'll have details on that 10-day forecast in a few minutes.
Tomorrow, Illinois is back in business. We're entering phase 5 of the governor's Restore Illinois plan. So what's changing? For the most part, phase 5 means fully reopen and back to what we used to know as normal, meaning large events, conventions, parks, venues, and more operating at full capacity. However, unvaccinated people are still required to wear masks, and everyone will have to wear a mask on public transportation, like buses and planes. Governor J.B. Pritzker says phase 5 is something to celebrate.
It's an unnatural thing, this novel coronavirus that hit us. Nobody knew how bad this really would be, but as we got to see, it took a lot of work on everybody's part for us to overcome this.
The governor also thanked people for going out and getting their COVID-19 shots. He says nearly 70% of the adult population in Illinois is vaccinated. While the governor would like to see that number continue to grow, he says he's pleased with where Illinois is now.
The construction of a brand new upscale apartment building in East Peoria should have started by now. But as Harry Croton shows us, city leaders and developers are facing an unexpected problem.
After more than a year of planning, the Riverview Lofts in East Peoria were finally approved last August. But Planning and Development Director Ty Livingston says additional costs have led to a delay.
They've been hit with a much higher amount of higher cost for materials. And so similar to other projects that we've talked to, they're kind of hitting the pause button and waiting for the project material cost to come down.
Livingston says the plan was for the project to take around a year and a half. Developer Ticona Group would start building in the spring and wrap up around October of next year. Now they're estimating it to finish around early 2023. And Livingston says this same supply issue is pretty much everywhere.
I talked to a contractor the other day where they were still waiting on windows for a project they had started and is nearly completed. The material supply chain has just been disrupted, and that's kind of holding things up.
Livingston says right now it's a waiting game until material prices improve, while new residents say this type of property is just what they were looking for.
I think it would be healthy for the area. I mean, as long as there's jobs to support it, you know.
When we went downtown, it wasn't really there, and we just really were hoping to get connected in a way that the suburbs kind of can't. And so that's what we were looking for.
And Livingston agrees, telling us the project, worth at least $13 million, is all part of East Peoria's master plan.
The more folks that you have living adjacent to all the development the city's done over the past 20+ years really reinforces and supports that investment in the long term. So we're really excited about seeing this moving forward.
But you'll just have to wait for that river view. In East Peoria, for Heart of Illinois ABC, I'm Harry Croton.
Still to come tonight, firefighters busy with multiple house fires in the heart of Illinois over the last 24 hours.
Plus, as the weather heats up, so does playground equipment. How to make sure it's safe for your kids.
Yesterday was the hottest day so far this year than we had today. And tomorrow is probably going to take that title too. So we get even hotter heading into the weekend. We'll talk about those temperatures and another full 10-day forecast up next.
Definitely feeling that summer heat, but Brian, just how far from summer are we?
A couple weeks away from the official start, but Mother Nature, I guess, missed the memo. Maybe, you know, the unofficial start of summer is Memorial Day, so maybe that's when we kind of start our summer this year, because it's been a very warm week, but the last couple days have been hot, and things actually even getting hotter as we look ahead to the weekend. Today, though, was the hottest day so far this year. That title before went to yesterday at 89, but today we hit 91. That's the first time we crossed over 90 degrees since August of last year. And then tomorrow, I think we'll be even hotter, going 94 for a forecast high temperature tomorrow afternoon. And 90 should continue into the weekend as well. Right now, it's not as hot, thankfully, but still warm, still muggy. Most of us are in the 70s, save Peru and Bloomington, which are in the low 80s right now. Live look at downtown Peoria. Nice quiet end to our Thursday here. Maybe a few passing clouds out there, but overall, not too much going on. The big weather headline, of course, is the hot conditions continuing, especially for the next couple days. And overall, it will be a very warm 10-day forecast. Looking at a couple isolated thunderstorms tomorrow. Might see a few more on Saturday, potentially in 2 rounds, early in the morning, then maybe in the afternoon, as a cold front moves through. But even despite that, few is the key word there. I think at best, any thunderstorms on Saturday are going to be scattered in nature and only calling for about a 40% rain chance. Finally, behind the fronts, we get some relief from the humidity. Again, still warm, still kind of hot, depending which day you look at in the forecast, but not going to be quite as muggy heading into next week. Live Doppler radar right now is pretty quiet, but we looped this over the last couple of hours, and we had a few showers and thunderstorms there in Knox and Fulton County earlier this evening. Those have fizzled out once we lost the heating of the day. And zooming things out, really not too much going on. It was a pretty busy picture off to our south earlier today, but those showers and storms have kind of fizzled out. Looking into tomorrow, isolated shower storm during the afternoon, evening, and then here comes our cold front for Saturday. You notice not too much green with it, but we'll see a few isolated to scattered storms with that front. Rest of the night here in local perspective is quiet. Tomorrow afternoon, just like today, an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm possible. Most will stay dry, though. Overall, just a 20% rain chance. And then Friday night, we're going to watch a couple thunderstorms dropping in from the north. Friday night and early Saturday morning. Then the cold front comes through. With that, could see a couple of isolated to maybe scattered thunderstorms there for Saturday. But again, overall, rain chances should be pretty low as we start the weekend. And then finally, again, we get some relief from the humidity early next week. 71, that's your load tonight. We are mainly clear, just warm and muggy once again heading to tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's weather just like today, but will be even hotter. Again, 94 for that afternoon high temperature. Low 90s expected this weekend. But on Sunday, we'll start to feel a little bit more comfortable. Again, it's still hot, but the humidity won't be quite as bad. And that's pretty much the story heading to next week. Maybe a touch cooler times in the mid to upper 80s. Right now, we are going to keep rain chances out of the forecast next week, but we're just going to watch maybe the end of the week for the potential for a few thunderstorms to move into the area. Like we talked about, 91 was the high today, and we just snuck in 3 degrees. We went 88 yesterday, but that counts as a win. Gets our winning streak up to a couple days, 75 in the pot. We're going to try and get it to 100 tomorrow.
A Peoria home is a total loss after a fire early this morning. It was just before 5 that firefighters were sent to the 1400 block of West Ann Street. Peoria Fire says it started outside the home on the front porch, extending to the first, second, and attic levels. The cause is under investigation, but it's an estimated $85,000 in damages, which means this house is a total loss. But the good news is no one was hurt.
And in Galesburg, no one was hurt after last night's kitchen fire in a multi-unit apartment building. Crews responding to the 600 block of South Academy Street around 5:30 last night. They found smoke coming from the roof. Battalion Chief Donald Brackett says crews were able to extinguish the kitchen fire, which appeared to be unintentionally caused by cooking. The estimated damages are approximately $20,000.
And with these temperatures in the 80s and 90s, playground equipment can reach dangerous levels. Some equipment can become dangerously hot and could even cause 2nd or 3rd degree burns on children. Ginger Street Matter with Safe Kids Peoria and OSF Children's Hospital says you can test the equipment by making sure you touch the metal like a swing or a slide. If it's too hot for you, it's too hot for your kid to play.
And after the break, a local pool isn't reopening this summer after all.
And the University of Illinois announcing a new grant. What it's going to mean, free books for students and staff. That's coming up next.
Students and staff at the University of Illinois will be able to get textbooks for free thanks to a new grant. The U of I system has been awarded $1.8 million from an open textbook pilot grant. This will allow professors, students, and researchers to freely access the materials. The grant's based on Senator Durbin's Affordable College Textbook Act, which is to improve college textbook access affordability.
Once delayed, the opening of Peoria's Gwynn Family Aquatic Center has now been called off. The Park District says it's been a struggle to hire lifeguards this season, and now on their website it says the pool will not open this summer. However, the Proctor Rec Center pool and Riverplex pool are both open. The Waterway Visitor Center at Starved Rock, Lock and Dam in Ottawa is reopened. The center is open from 9 to 5, 7 days a week.
Coming up next in sports, it's the first day of the girls' state track meet in Charleston.
Plus, we have highlights from the sectional title night in softball. JD Rachi has it all up for you next.
There are officially state champions back in the heart of Illinois. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to sports. I'm JD Rachi. Girls state track meet kicking off today. We head to Charleston in eastern Illinois for the 1A state meet, and we head to a great performance from Bushnell West Prairie's Malia Houston. Absolutely cruising to the state title in the 800 meter. And in the 400, it's going to be a much tighter finish for Bloomington Central Catholic's Megan Becker. Look at her come down the stretch, and she is going to pull it off. 0.07 of a second to pick up the victory in the 400. And the story of the day, Windsor Roberts winning her 3rd state title in the pole vault. An absolutely massive day for Windsor Roberts coming up here. Tried to go for the state record, didn't quite get there, but still clearing very high distances. A huge day as state champions are once again crowned.
I was obviously missed last season, so I was looking to have a redemption this season and hopefully be able to take away the first place medal.
And really sort of made it out of nothing. You know, we had to build back from scratch after last year, so I'm just really happy with how everyone did, and I'm really proud of them.
One other state champ to recognize, Stark County's Lindley Johnston is your 1A high jump champion. And in 2A boys track, sectional night at Metamora, and Eureka's dynamic duo looking fantastic tonight. The 400, Micah Senior and Aiden Sears battling it out, and Senior on the left is going to pick up the win over his teammate. PND wins both the 4x1 and 4x2 with the team of Luke Carroll, Mark Ennie, and Yawu. Ian Lemons and Eddie Saunders, the anchor, and another big day for Wilson Georges today. Wins in both the 800 and the 1600. Eureka wins the team title. And in softball, it's sectional finals night in the heart of Illinois. We'll start in 3A, where Bloomington welcomes Washington to the Twin Cities, and the Panthers looking great today. Carly Vaughn rips one to center. That's a double as it rolls all the way to the wall, and it brings Maddie Mack in to score. Later, it's Emma Gunther driving in Vaughn with the single into left. And then some great pitching today from Brooklyn Ogden today, backed up by some great defense. Allie Scribner laying out for the out. The Panthers win it 3-1 and are your sectional champs. Across town in 2A, Twin Cities showdown as Bloomington Central Catholic hosts Normal U High. Jen Kuhn looking good in the circle today for the Pioneers as she picks up the strikeout. Then her offense is going to pick her up. Lauren Blumier sends a sharp single out into left. That plates Abby Knight and Maddie Adams. U High wins the sectional with a 4-0 win. Also in 2A action, Olympia hosting undefeated Rockridge. Kennedy Smith, great all year for the Spartans, and the senior goes big fly. An absolute bomb out to right center, but that's about it for Olympia today. Rockridge far too much. Rockridge is your winner, 11-2. And now to 1A, where Illini Bluffs looks to keep on rolling against Brown County, and the Tigers swinging big sticks this afternoon. First, it's Kristen Graham. Just an absolute mammoth shot out to left field. I mean, goodness, did she crush that thing. Later, it's Zoe Eaton. Clubs one to dead central. And this one's going to just sneak over the wall. Illini Bluffs wins the sectional with a 9-1 victory. And in Princeville, the Cinderella Princes hosting Rova Williamsfield. Scoreless until the 6th when Williamsfield's battery breaks through. Catcher Catalina Hunt singles into left. She'd later score on a wild pitch. Then in the 7th inning, pitcher Caitlin Aldred doubles to the gap. She'd score on a sac fly in the bottom half. And Aldred was absolutely fantastic today. Bottom half of the 7th inning. A comebacker to Aldred. She fires to first for the out. She throws a complete game shutout as Williamsfield is your sectional champ with a 2-0 win. Brian has your last check of weather coming up next.
Should be a pretty quiet night, just warm and muggy. Then tomorrow it will be potentially the hottest day of the year. That title, as of now, went to today at 91, but going 94 by the afternoon tomorrow. And just like today, a couple of hit-or-miss showers or storms, but anything isolated in nature, and most should stay dry. Saturday, a cold front comes through. Could see a couple showers and storms early, really Friday night into Saturday morning. And a couple more stray ones for the afternoon as well. And Sunday is still hot, but not quite as muggy. I think we'll see a drop in humidity heading into early next week. Not a big drop in temperatures, though. Still 90 on Monday and mid to upper 80s for most of the second half of that 10-day forecast. And for now, keeping next week dry. We're going to watch maybe the end of the week. Could see a couple stray showers and storms back then.
All right, thanks for watching tonight. Good Morning Illinois starts at 5.
Jimmy Kimmel Live is next. See you tomorrow.